Welcome back on the AM show. Now we're going to be telling you about the University of Professional Studies Accra, which presents the 2023 Annual Leadership Lecture on the topic, Reimagining Ghana's Development Trajectory for a Peaceful and Prosperous Nation by 2057, our 100th anniversary through the perspective of the people. Now, Kwame Pianim, the renowned economist and statesman, is the special speaker or the august speaker. Joining us for a conversation this morning in the studio, we have Dr. Koyo Enim Wright, Registrar at the University for Professional Studies Accra, together with Professor Emmanuel Asamoah, Dean, Faculty of IT and Comms Studies at the UPSA. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you join the conversation one more time.
Thank you.
Pleased
Good to be
here.
back.
All right. Just a quick bit. If I asked you what's new at the UPSA, what would you say?
Well, University of Professional Studies, as most of your viewers are aware, we've been at the forefront of management education, training accountants, management professionals over the years, and we've made great impacts at various levels of industry in the country. We are taking our vision a step further to get closer to the public, to influence policy decisions and leadership at all levels. And so in the last few years, we at UPSA instituted this annual leadership lecture where we bring professionals who have impacted the lives of communities and the nation and even the globe to come and, as it were, speak to various topical issues of leadership that really will bring some transformation to our nation and to the world at large. So we've been at it, and this year is also one of the years where we have decided to give effect to what we have been doing in the past and to really position the discussion of our nation's prosperity in the right perspective. And so this is what is new as it stands now, beyond what other things that we have been doing in the past.
Now, looking at the topic, Doc, for this year, reimagining Ghana's development trajectory for a peaceful and prosperous nation by 2057. That is our 100th anniversary through the perspective of the people. What went into choosing this topic?
I think the most important thing here is who we chose. And in choosing Mr. Pianim, what we realized was that the focus was less on what it is now and more on where we all want to be. And so instead of a topic that would address what the economic situation is now and rehash and say what everybody has been talking about, he chose to take a more pragmatic look and ascertaining that we will be 100 years very soon. And what path can we go on to ensure that when we do get to that phase and that stage, the country is ready, the country is robust, the country's economic policies are there so that we are self-sufficient, self-reliant, and we are on the restorative path. So it took a lot for him to actually come up with this topic. But that's because he wanted it to be a deliberate discussion and engagement by everyone, and also appreciating that politicians are not the only ones who come up with how we need to get to where we need to get to, but the people are important components of the whole process. So he wanted the people to also be featured so that they understand and appreciate the role we all have to play to get us to economic solvency in 100 years.
Right. Even as we talk about 100 years, I don't know whether either one of you has seen the NDPC's plan ahead of Ghana at 2057, Ghana at 100. Yeah. One of the things in there, I never forget, we say by that time we should have a GDP of over $3 trillion and all of that. And sometimes you look at some of the projections and where we are. Of course, you must scale up, and then you look at where you are now and the possibility of catching up. We're in 2023. That leaves us with what, 34 years to go. And it's quite a picture if we want to get there, which excites me about the topic, because then I would like to find out from Kwame Pianim what really would have to do to, create that picture. But what would be your response in terms of the selection of this topic, which the speaker himself selected, and what we can expect on D-Day come Monday?
I think it's a right call. The topic is apt. You would realize that in the last few years, the world and even Ghana, we've gone through several challenges. We've moved away from the financial crisis. In recent times, COVID-19. We've also been surprised with the Russia-Ukraine war, as well as the Israeli-Hamas conflict. Now, it is good to aspire for the best. And so this topic brings to perspective the history of Ghana over the years, our present situation, and also where we want to be in the future. And so for me, it repositions us to really think about what we are looking at achieving in the future. All of us want a nation that we are all going to be proud of, with prosperity and the challenges that we face today at best minimized. And to do that, we really need to think deeper into our present situation and how we can really position ourselves for the future. It will mean that some policy directions will have to be altered. It will also mean that we make some sacrifices at all levels. It will also mean that we look really at our whole entire economic structure and possibly look at where we can make some changes towards getting a prosperous future for all of us. So indeed, if you look at the track record of a speaker, you would realize that he's had an illustrious career spanning public sector, even international organizations, and even in his private life. And within the country, everybody agrees that he has really excelled, and he's actually the right person to really speak into this topic. You realize that his life has also gone through several decades, and he has experienced the challenges that we have gone through as a nation over the years. And for me, I think that he is well positioned to answer the questions and the concerns that you are asking me this morning. Thank you.
Well, Kwame Pianim, you would say he's an institution in his own right.
Absolutely.
And you have him coming to deliver. He's your august speaker. Are there any others who are going to be, any others you're inviting to this event that you'd like to talk about?
Yes, but if I can just add a little bit to what Professor Samoa said. I think you referenced the NDPC. I think what Mr.
Ghana at
Pianim,
100, that's the document.
Yes, I think what Mr. Pianim seeks to do is to provide the systems and processes, or some recommendations for the systems and processes that ought to be in place as we are considering financial solvency. So it's not a magic bullet that if we follow everything by 100 years, we would have gotten to where we have to get to. But if we begin these important building blocks and really embrace them in terms of how we are managing our economy, we will certainly be on the right trajectory to when we get to 100 years, we will all be smiling rather than frowning of where and the direction we seem to be going in. And yes, we've invited, it's open to the public, so we certainly are hoping that everyone will be able to attend. But we certainly invited economists, we've invited those who are in the decision-making process, we've invited those that one might term the people to also come, because we think that the engagement that will follow his presentation will be an important one for everybody to have heard in order to participate actively in.
Is it a hybrid event? You say people are invited, but
yes.
Is it going to be live on social media
it is
as well,
also
so that those who can't make it there physically can also participate?
Yes, and we thank Joy News for actually being a partner with us in this initiative, and it's going to be broadcast live on Joy News, and I think another sister station, City FM also. Yes.
So they can catch it on TV, they can be there physically,
yes.
Or they could also catch it on
online.
social media.
And COCA, which is Akufo Hene Konadu Auditorium, is pretty big. It can accommodate about 3,000 people. So, there will be enough room for those who want to come to attend and listen in.
All right. Final words for both of you. I'll start with Prof.
Yeah, the platform is really a big platform. In the past, the first lecture we had, His Excellency Dr. Ibn Chambers, and the second one we had His Excellency John Ejiokum Kufuor, We've also had Dotunfo Asantehene himself, Opokuwari, Osei Tutu II. And the one we recently had was Cardinal Peter Turkson.
Peter Turkson,
you know.
right.
So it's a big platform, and I expect some insightful discussions taking place. And in the past, we've had opportunities for people to ask questions. So I believe it's going to feature as well. So the questions that you have, you can be there as well to put it to the speaker. And I'm sure you'll get all the right answers. And we invite everybody to come and experience what UPSA has to offer to the nation.
All right, so let's do this. It's Monday, the 11th of December.
10 a.m.
What is the start time? 10 a.m.
10 a.m. We ask everyone to be seated by 9:30.
Okay, everyone to be seated. If you're coming there physically, be seated by 9:30.
Yes.
All right. Okay, well, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining this discussion. It is the UPSA, and this is their annual leadership lecture on the topic, Reimagining Ghana's Development Trajectory for a Peaceful and Prosperous Nation by 2057, our 100th anniversary, through the perspective of the people.
Yes.
That means you. So you might as well participate in whichever way you can. Of course, we'll be airing that here on this platform as well. Those who joined us for this conversation, Dr. Koyo Enim Wright, Registrar UPSA, together with Professor Emmanuel Asamoah, Dean, Faculty of IT and Com Studies at the UPSA. Wish you the very best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All right.
you.
Do stay with us on the AM show. We'll be right back with more.